have the authority to chase carjackers, either in Indiana or if they cross the state line.
Carjackings at a crisis level. Chicago police are using all resources to crack down.
They're also raising issue with the young age of some of the suspects.
Tia Ewing live with a coordinated effort to crack down. Tia.
Well, so far this year, 182 suspects have been arrested for carjacking, and many of them aren't even old enough to drive.
This 14-year-old is being charged with aggravated vehicle hijacking with a firearm.
Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown says 60% of suspects taken into custody on a given day are children. Many of them are responsible for armed carjackings.
Last example of recent arrest, a 17-year-old offender was arrested and charged with aggravated vehicle hijacking with a firearm.
Tuesday night, CPD's carjacking task force used air support from Homeland Security and the Illinois State Police to track down carjacking suspects. The carjacking operations task force includes 16 suburban police departments and 5 other agencies. Brown says carjackings are down.
Today, we've seen a 20% decrease in carjackings here today. 2022 versus 2021. That's a 20% decrease in carjackings. 2022 versus 2021.
Even though the crimes are down, so is the rate of arrest. Carjackings are still more than 3 times higher than when the pandemic started, and the crime is spilling over to Northwest Indiana.
Our officers all have the authority to chase carjackers, either in Indiana or if they cross the state line. They have the training with a pit maneuver. They have the training for rolling roadblocks. They have the equipment with stop sticks to end pursuits safely. And if you think you're going to come into Indiana and cross the state line and we won't chase you, we will. We will chase you.
Superintendent David Brown did address the juvenile system being reformed, saying there's no real consequences for those children committing some of these serious crimes. Live tonight, I'm Tia Ewing with Fox 32 Chicago.
All right, welcome back to another reaction here. Today I'm going to react to this. It's a continuation of what's been going on with the carjacking situation here. This is just from a different media standpoint. My whole thing on it, you probably feel the same way as I did in the other video. Just a few things I noticed from the superintendent was just a bit, I don't know, he just doesn't seem enthusiastic. I don't know, maybe something's wrong with him. But yeah, he didn't really seem like he was just reading off of a piece of paper, and it was really monotone. You know, the guy from Indiana seemed to have a lot more passion, a lot more energy, you know, talking about wanting to get these guys and, you know, the tactics they're going to employ. They get these guys, get these juveniles caught up. Maybe it's the way Fox News presents things as well, because, I mean, all the reporter said was that David Brown also mentioned that the penalties for these crimes, for these juveniles, are very minimal, which is probably one of the biggest reasons why there are so many repeat offenders. So, you know, sentencing reform definitely needs to be looked at again. I think too many juveniles are getting away with murder, basically, because they're juveniles and they know that the laws are more lenient towards them. I mean, second, which should have been first, but the parents, guardians, whoever is supposed to be watching over these juveniles are very, very much should be looked at as well. I mean, what's going on? Do we need to, you know, take these children out of these homes? Are these homes creating them to be more this way, to commit more crimes, to be involved more in the criminal lifestyle? I think a lot of it has to do with the home as well. I mean, if you have a bunch of family members who are involved in that type of activity, it just it's just common knowledge that that's what's going to happen with the child. So it's better, in my opinion, to look at everything from all angles. I mean, I know my stance on jail and things like that are pretty strong, but the way I look at it, jail is just a college, a university for better crimes. People go in there for a few years, they don't mind. They know they'll get half a sentence, and they'll be out, and they'll know how to be better criminals. They'll learn ways around the law. On another newscast, there was, I don't know if anyone's aware, but there's a difference. There's a car theft and carjacking, which is two different things. So if let's say the carjacker per se says that no, they didn't steal the car from anyone, they just found it running. It was at a gas station and they just hopped in. That changes the crime. And then if the victim isn't able to point him out in a lineup, which most of the time I'm sure they aren't able to, or they're afraid to, or they just don't want to deal with it, these guys don't get charged with the full criminal activity that they caused. So there's a lot of loopholes really that need to be looked into. They really need to be covered up. I think it's time that we take the law really to be more towards the victims and these perpetrators of these crimes, especially it's juveniles. As you said, what is it, 60% juveniles? It really needs to look at the guardians, the parents of these juveniles, see who's keeping tabs on these kids. Something has to be done. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much you could do. I mean, sending these kids to jail is just going to make them even harder criminals, and not doing anything to them and expecting guardians or parents to do something doesn't seem to be working either. So there needs to be a real strong look at this whole situation. And I hope our leaders at the top, this has been going on for 4 or 5 years already. The skyrocketing carjacking issue. So it took that many years. I guess Indiana had it, and they're like, okay, we're gonna we need to get this. They need to nip this thing in the bud. Like they said, they're not afraid to chase people. They're not afraid to chase these carjackers into another state. I think a lot of these kids thought that they were going to get away either by going into Indiana from Chicago or going from Chicago to Indiana and thinking, that's it. Chicago police is going to stop and then, but no, they will chase you to Indiana and to Chicago. So they cut off their route there. I'm sure these guys had a lot of getaways to Indiana now. So I hope they break up these teams of these guys doing this, and this helps lower the crime rate, because definitely, they're using these vehicles to commit other crimes. If you take away their way of getting around and committing crimes, then that'll definitely eliminate a lot of it. This is how we lose freedoms, though, because of the dumbness, for lack of a better term, of certain groups of people. These juveniles out here doing all this crime are just making us lose our freedoms, which, I mean, I'm not gonna argue. I mean, the cameras and everything help, and if they're helping to catch them, I mean, I'm not up to anything bad. I don't have to look over my shoulder for the cops or anybody. I'm fine. I think most citizens feel that way. I think we're mostly all fine. So a few cameras catch a few bad apples is fine, but once everything's caught up and good, that's what kind of worries, not worries you, but your freedoms, because now you can be tracked anywhere. And I'm not saying that's bad. I don't care, track me all you want. You're gonna see me go to Walmart, go drop my son off, pick my son up, go to work, drop him off at his mom's. And that's it. Maybe grab some, go to a store here or there, grab some bud here or there. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing really not up to anything too crazy there. So I don't know. It doesn't bother me as long as it just makes everyone safer. It's just so random. So I just hope everyone stays safe out there. Chicago, every city. Houston, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, they're all crazy out there. Philadelphia, when people are just running wild. I think it's just been too long and too lax of laws. I think we really need to put the pressure on these criminals. All right, that's all I gotta say. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Stay safe out there. If you have a gun, keep a gun on you. And if you don't, have good thoughts. Stay positive. This is just a reaction, not, this is just a reaction to a news story.